Just making sure camera's working, everything's working. Let me go turn the radio down real quick. Actually, I just turned the radio off because I don't want any distractions. So I'm going to give everyone a few minutes, make sure I've got all my supplies ready. That way you're not waiting for me. But we are going to apply the Be Thou Vision Iron Orchids Designs image transfer to this dresser, which is a custom piece that my customer previously picked up the pink dresser, and when she saw how beautiful it was, she wanted to do somewhat the same thing with this dresser, but wanted to keep the boldness of the Moxie by the Sea from Paint Couture. Let me find that jar. Right here. She wanted to keep this boldness because her bedroom has kind of a boho coloring vibe. And so she didn't want to dull the color at all. So we probably won't be putting a glaze. I might, however, lightly wax all of the edges in a white on this particular piece. So the Iron Orchids Be Thou Vision Transfer comes in the tube just like this. You can apply it to furniture, to signs. Right there is one of the signs that I had recently made, and it has overlapping the blue flower on the Wildflowers Botanical image transfer. Now I'm just going to get started because we've got tractors outside and you may not be able to hear me very shortly. They're going to get a little closer. This particular transfer is white. Some of the image transfers are charcoal, some are even a little bit darker than a charcoal, but this one is white. It comes on a clear acetate page. This is your wax backing paper just to keep the lettering from sticking to anything. So this is kind of what it will be, there we go, what it will be looking like once it's applied to this Moxie by the Sea. The other thing that I noted when I was laying this down on my dresser, I don't think I'm going to like the way it's laid out just like this. I'm going to want to center this crown up higher onto this first drawer, probably with the Be Thou My right about there. So I'm going to have to cut it. And then the second section, I'm going to do the vision to the knot. And then the same thing here. I'm going to slide it down once I cut it from save to buy to kind of center it onto that drawer. And same thing with this section, I'll slide it up. Normally I would go ahead and rub it onto the edges of the drawer. But this particular piece, I think because of the message and the wording on it, I think I would rather not have part of it missing and tucked up under the drawer. So let's get started. I'm not going to remove the backing quite yet either because I don't want to chance pieces and little sections to stick to my dresser before I'm ready. So let me just stick all this here. And I'll start up here with the first one. If you wanted to cut it with a razor blade, you could. There we go. Oh, I think I forgot to turn my tablet on so I could see any questions. Let me check. Let's move that, and then I can kind of see what your if I can find you guys real quick, or find the video. Nope, I can't. Okay, so let me go ahead and move that tablet out of the way. Okay, so here is, I cut off the Be Thou My. I'm gonna take the paper off the back, and I'm gonna carefully lay this here. I usually just kind of eyeball it, but I'm at a weird angle. So I am gonna measure to my first letter here, and to that letter. Do that again. Yep, okay. Because the last thing you want is somebody to always notice, okay, that it's crooked. There we go. And I'm just slightly pressing it on there, and you can see it does stick. But it's not adhering until we rub it with the little tool. The applicator, I just had everything, and you saw that. And I've already sat everything aside. Oh, here it is. It's clear. So here's the applicator stick that comes in your tubes. You can tape your sections down if you want to. When I have finer, smaller words on my transfers, which like this Be Thou Vision was 11 by 14, so the letters are smaller, I do tape it down just so I can get every bit of the image off without my paper shifting and it coming loose. So all I'm going to do is rub with my applicator stick over the lettering. And I found on more porous wood like this oak, and you can feel the graining in it, you do sometimes have to rub with the grain so that the image transfer does adhere a little better. I don't hear any little popping sound on this one, so we may have to work at it a little more. See, I barely rubbed that and it's already off. So just to make sure it's sticking, I'm going to use my finger, which also warms it up a little bit. Oh, can you even see that one? I'll do the next one. So you can see. Yep, it's in there good. Can you all see that? I'll zoom in a little more when we get to the bird and everything. Hi, Janet. Okay. If I don't talk much, it's because I cannot do two things at once. I get sidetracked. Doesn't everybody do that? Okay, I'm just gonna lightly tap it. If it feels like your plastic covering is sticking, just put it down, rub it a little more, and it should release. Sometimes your plastic will kind of bubble up, giving you that opaque look, and you know that your transfer is adhered to your project. Sometimes it doesn't. You have to check each piece. Oh my gosh, this is going to be beautiful. It's got a hint of a vintage green in the laurel leaves, which is really pretty. I didn't notice that on this one. I have to look at it a little closer. The great thing about the Iron Orchids Design Transfers is that they are already aged, because I don't like the word distressed. They are already aged very uniquely and beautifully. So you don't have to do all the hard work of sanding back. I will sand this a little bit though. Sorry, the heater kicked on, so it might be a little loud. Okay. Go back. Janet, have you had a chance to use yours yet? I didn't come off. Lightly give it a nudge. There we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Any little edges or the halo around your words or your image? Usually with the warmth of your finger, if you just kind of give it a little push in there and kind of roll it, it just kind of fades right off. Sometimes the halo is a little bit bigger and you do have to take your little sanding sponge. Not yet. I want to see the pictures. Don't be scared, Janet. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to now figure out where I want the second section. Let's get rid of this. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Let me zoom it in. Let's see if I can move this camera, whoop, without. Can y'all see it? Oh my gosh, I love it. I love this hint of green. Okay, let me put that back. And then go. I'm going to do the next section. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a text and I'm turning my tablet off here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Nope, it's still doing it. Dang it. Okay. And I don't even have to do these transfers, cut them in strips. You could just use bits and pieces. Cut out just a letter. Cut out just the bird. Okay, here's the next drawer. Shifting. This one has a lot more words, so I'm going to take this one down a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit with some painter's tape. And then start this one. This way. Just make sure you go over every single piece. Whoop. Probably should have taped there too. Okay. Release this one from the other side. Oh good, the fan gate went off. I don't know if it's cold where you guys are, but we are freezing here. Mike, the transfers are available in different colors, but each transfer, like this particular one, the Be Thou, is in white. Right now, the Be Thou that people have in stock is what there is. They won't be carrying it anymore. They're going to be doing another 24 by 36 image transfer, but it will have 4 separate scriptures on there, and I don't know yet if it's going to be white or charcoal or a dark. I don't know if you had a chance to see the Sea Queen that I had done, or the Gypsy Queen, but those are a charcoal. Thank you, Janet. This particular piece I will be sealing, yes. I'm gonna go ahead and use a matte, a pink couture matte, on top of this one. Anytime it's on furniture, I do seal it, or I'll wax it. If it's on a mirror, it all depends on where that mirror is going. I had one that was going in a bathroom, and I did go ahead and I did like a liquid pour over the image transfer, because the image transfer goes on top of the glass, and made it almost look watery. So it turned out really good. But usually on a mirror or glass, we won't put a top coat of any kind or a sealant. You just instruct everyone to use a dry, soft cloth to dust it. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, I'm just gonna gently lift. And as you're lifting, you can kind of see which sections are sticking. Just do it carefully so that you can lay the plastic back down and continue rubbing. And like I said, sometimes it just wants to stick, so I'm going with the grain on those pieces. And you don't want to use your corners and dig in, because your wood is soft. If it's a piece that you're really struggling with not adhering, go with it. Do what you can and move on, and just distress that area a little more to let it fade off and on, if you know what I mean. The already aged or distress that's on these image transfers makes it very forgiving if you do have any problems not getting your piece to adhere. But I haven't had too many problems with that. Okay, you can see right there it's not sticking. I hope you can see that. So I'm going to push it back down and just rub it. And now it's good. This is going to be one of those projects it's going to seem like forever by the time I get down to the end. You're welcome, Mike. That's what happens when I talk, I miss spots. I'm just folding it over and rubbing it down with my hand. Good. Okay. A little bit more. I love to see every single one of these transfers and the way that it literally transforms your pieces. Oh, that's not stuck. Okay. I hope Sarah jumped on here and sees how much work this is. Just kidding, it's not. don't even think I'm gonna need to do white waxed edges and have it like a cloud. I think I like it just like this because it does have these hints of green in there. Get that piece out of the way, that piece out of the way. And now for this, I think the center is going to be the most difficult with me centering it because it's barely going to fit in there. So I might have to wrap it. But I'm going to wrap the bottom of the twig. So you guys can see how we do that. Next, I'll slide this piece out of the way for now. Okay. So this one is the center that's going to be the trickiest. Set that aside. Walk to the other side so you don't have my backside in the camera. Okay. I know I want the bird centered and I want my edges somewhat lined up. But I gotta get the save and the buy about the same distance. Okay. I think that looks good. So you can see how my edge is gonna overlap right here. And it looks like it's overlapping a little too much, so I won't be able to pull this up, get it tucked under there right. So I'm gonna cut a little more off. Okay, right there. I'm only cutting it so that it will fold down up under the bottom of the dresser. Okay, let's get this reset again. Into there. Into there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, tape. Again, I'm only taping it just so it doesn't shift on me. There's a little more detail. Am I talking loud enough for you guys? Can you hear me? Anybody? Well, if you can't hear me, give a shout out. I'll try to speak up. So let me show you real quick how I'm gonna go around the edges. I'm simply gonna turn my tool and I'm going to rub it in the center here. And then over the lip. See if I can. Okay, you can see already it's sticking, it's not sticking, it's adhering to the board, to the wood. Go ahead and keep going. This is going to be the little bit trickier. I've been thinking I might want to put some of my extra words from my other bead owl onto my chandelier. If you've been to the shop, you've seen my bucket chandeliers. And I'm thinking I want some of these white words on there. Letterings, maybe just random letters. Okay. Yes, she does, Jessica. Thank you, Janet. I'm glad you can hear me. I feel like I'm yelling, but I think I yell all the time anyways, according to my kids. Okay, here we go. Onto the edge. I'm going to kind of hold it down a little bit and circle up and around just so I don't chance it not sticking, and I pulled up half and the other half sticks to the drawer. I have to hold this down too. Ready? Ta-da! Okay, so now I'm just gonna go over the edge. Anything that feels like it's pulling up from that corner, I will just rub off with my finger or rub it down. Out of the way. Okay, let's check it out. I don't know why I fold this over either, but I do. I'm sure, like I've always said, there's no right way or wrong way. I just fold it over. It seems to me to help give it a little air pocket under there, and you don't have to work as hard. Okay, I think I got everything there. Nope, one more. Look at that, so beautiful. Every time I do this, it's beautiful. I'm working from the opposite way that I'm used to. If anybody wants to come into the shop, just send me a message. It's the holidays, so I'm coming and going constantly. But we can do one-on-ones. I've got a stop by and try table set up, so you can see just how flippin' easy this is. It may take a little bit of time, but it is easy. The more detailed, a little bit stickier it is. That's why I'm kind of going careful on my bird. Let me remove this tape. Okay. You can tell this little applicator tool is not breaking. The new design is so great because the old design had cardboard applicator sticks that would tend to bust in the middle as you were rubbing. I still have some of them, some of the ones that didn't break, and I use those in classes. Just when I think I've rubbed everywhere, it doesn't stick. Okay, there we go. I think sometimes when we do a Facebook Live, you get impatient and you just try to pull and pull and pull, and you can't get impatient. almost ready to reveal the middle drawer. Okay. You ready? Ta-da! Look at that. Now you can see right here it didn't adhere, and I'm just going to use the warmth of my finger, rub it down, and I'm almost polishing it. And you can kind of feel some of it rolling under your finger. And that's just that little halo that I mentioned, the little white edge or clear edge that's around your transfers. There we go. Ah, I love it. Let's get a little close up on that one too. And then I'm probably gonna go ahead and stop, put my other applications onto the last drawers, and then I'll come back on live in maybe 20 minutes and I'll flip it up so you guys can have the big reveal. I don't wanna keep everybody. Ah, thanks Janet. Can you see the bird well? Let me see if I can zoom it in without making it fuzzy. Let's see. Can you see it? Oh my gosh, I love it. I think my customer made the right choice. It's beautiful. Okay, so I'll see everybody in about 20 minutes. I'll apply the last two and we're gonna flip it up and then decide whether we want to put some white along the edges like a cloud or if we want to leave it. See you guys in a bit. Have a great day.